Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Jaime Soretta. On this podcast, we celebrate everything local in Arizona. How about some fresh seafood in the desert? I'm going to introduce you to the couple who is bringing it to you straight off the boat. I am here with Mandy and John Heflin of Chula Seafood. Hello, you two.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. I want to talk about, first of all, your background because, John, you're a hometown kid when it comes to Arizona.
Yep. I went to Madison Meadows, Central High School, and Arizona State University. Go Devils.
Go Devils.
Exactly.
Isn't it fun to watch the football team? I mean, that football team took a crazy run this year.
It's pretty exciting. We've had season tickets for a long time.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was an exciting year for sure.
Oh, my gosh. I don't mean to digress, but
Yeah,
man.
no, exactly.
Digress.
It was the best
Let's keep that
season.
energy going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Everybody do their part.
Yes, and we have to mention you guys met at ASU?
Yeah.
Where, how? Tell me how this happened.
Through a few mutual friends we met. He's, quite a couple years older than me. So
the old man on campus, Mandy.
But we are both Sun Devils. Yes,
Yeah.
we met through some mutual ASU friends, and seafood was anywhere in the picture at that point.
All right, but it was in your family history, John. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. My dad grew up working on commercial fishing boats, and then he got into aviation and became a pilot. And then later in life, he reconnected with his commercial fishing buddies, and they opened up a restaurant in Phoenix called the Fish Market. It was on 16th Street in Bethany. It was kind of famous. It was around for 25 years.
I can see the sign in my head. Right now.
The building ran its course after like 40 years, and they decided 30 years, and they decided to tear it down. And the Blue Water took it over, and they do a great job. But my dad did those restaurants in California with his partners. And then when he retired from U.S. Air and America West, he decided that he wanted to buy his own commercial fishing boat again. And so we bought quite a few different ones throughout the years, and we decided on one after a while, the Chula that we have now. So that's still...
and Chula is the name of the vessel.
Chula is the name of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people ask us where the name Chula came from. And the name Chula, actually, my mom named one of our first boats Chula because our neighbor's dog, who was a beautiful white Labrador, had just passed away. And that was one of her best friends. So they named the boat Chula.
After the dog.
Yeah, it was our family friend's dog. So that's where the name came from. So
Mm-hmm.
just since then, we've named every boat Chula. And we obviously stuck with the name Chula.
Yeah. And doesn't Chula have a meaning? What is that?
Yeah, it means beautiful, and we thought that translated nicely to when we were trying to think of what to call us when we brought the fish over here to the desert. It was kind of under a no name. The boat was named Chula, but all right, let's go with Chula Seafood. Beautiful seafood. We sell beautiful seafood.
And you come from the Pacific Northwest, so you already had a love of fish when you moved to the desert.
Absolutely.
Definitely a driving force in the beginning to get it going because she couldn't get her good fish down here.
And you got to meet this woman's craving. Make sure she gets what she needs, right?
I just saw a void in the market. We were both in different, not the best of jobs or the happiest place where we saw ourselves thriving. So after brainstorming, we just kind of had the epiphany of why are we not bringing your dad's fish to the desert and the access we have to that fresh fish to the desert? So, through some blood, sweat, and tears, we made it happen. And that's, kind of... I don't have to go back up to Seattle now for my fix.
Yeah, so stay here with the lovely weather, right?
Yes.
Get sunshine with your seafood.
Exactly.
She knows she can actually get better fish here now.
Indeed, right, Mandy?
Truth.
Oh, my goodness. So what kind of work were you guys doing after school?
I actually have a journalism degree. I graduated from the Walter Cronkite School at ASU.
Go Devils again.
Yes,
And Walter.
yes. Ended up kind of going a different direction, headed into the restaurant industry nonetheless. After the economy was not the greatest at that time. And my dad had restaurants growing up, so kind of a familiar landing place for me. And honestly, just started learning the ins and outs of the business. Worked for a couple local restaurant groups here, Common Ground Hospitality being one of them.
Chris Collins, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, just learning the ins and outs of the industry without actually even knowing what I was doing. We had our first daughter, and I kind of started learning the world of Etsy. So
Ah.
I
What
had
were
a
you
little
making?
Etsy shop, everything, jewelry, feathered earrings, moved into, he bought me a sewing machine. I was
Ooh.
creating matching ridiculous baby clothes.
I know way too much about different types of sewing machines.
So, but kind of tying back into like why that's important, I learned a lot about social media marketing through this Etsy phase of my life,
Right.
which was really
Entrepreneurial.
the catalyst of, I don't know, it's a little bit of journalism and a little bit of marketing tying into it and teaching myself. And that's kind of how we started to build Chula, because that Etsy the Etsy shop closed on me when I got pregnant with our second child, our son. I was like, I'm not making anything for anybody else anymore.
You got 2 kids.
I'm a
you're
little
busy.
nauseous, and that's kind of when Chula started to. It was starting to spin a little bit more. This little idea we have was turning into a full blown reality around 2015, 2016.
And so what did that mean as it was starting to percolate? What were you doing, John?
What was I doing at the time? So out of college, I went and found myself in Europe for a couple years, came back, and then I went to work for Swift Transportation for 8 years from the bottom. And it's one of the largest trucking companies in the world, and it's locally based. And so I worked for them for 8 years. And so that's where it really helped me in logistics, because, you know, we own all our own trucks. So to me, hiring other people wasn't a question. It was, we're going to do it ourselves. So I learned that. And then after that, for about another 8 years, I went and worked for a local company, Thermo King. So I was in the sales after that. So that's where I got my sales background. But, you know, logistics, refrigerated logistics from Thermo King, and sales were kind of the like she said, building our backgrounds, and we kind of put them all together.
And him growing up in the fishing industry,
That
on the
helps.
boat, you know, on the water. I mean, there's photos of Hogan and John when they're younger on these fishing trips before Chula Seafood was a thing.
And
So-
Hogan is
Our business partner, Hogan and Carrie Jameson, and Hogan and I, you know, we grew up together. He went to Meadows and he went to Brophy. He went to U of A though.
Wildcat.
But it's no, you know,
We'll forgive him.
there's all love,
Yes,
all
of
the
course.
love. As long as an Arizona team is
Yes.
doing good these days, that's all I care about. But you know, our relationship, I met him in 5th grade, but we've been really good friends since we were like in 8th grade.
how wonderful.
So we have a great relationship. Our kids are all best friends. So that it's really nice to have a good relationship before you start a business, for sure.
Someone you could trust.
Absolutely.
And you know you can work through stuff with.
Yeah, he's a very
That's really
trustworthy
important.
guy.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
So things start percolating in 2015. Were you guys distributing to restaurants first before you opened the storefront? What were you doing?
Yeah, that's kind of how it started out. So we started out our wholesale. So we started out, you know, with like Charlene at F&B, you know, Chris Collins's restaurants.
How do you start with those big names? I mean, Charlene and F&B,
Honestly-
that's top dog.
Honestly, I was at dinner with my cousin one night, and my cousin's kind of a crazy man, and he says, "Hey, my cousin here's we were at my birthday, I believe, or his birthday. I think we're selling it with both of them." And he was just like, "You're selling fish. You should sell to these people." And he just asked the waiter, and he goes, "Hey, tell the chef we're selling fresh fish." And she literally just came over and bought fish for me the next week, and she's been one of our greatest customers since. And also Matt Carter from the Mission and Zach at the Mission. Those guys are our basis of, you know, just. We've been so lucky to get into so many great restaurants over the years. And, you know, the seafood games is ups and downs. You know, there's different chefs that come into different restaurants. They switch purveyors. So we have great relationships with everybody in town. Even if we're doing business with them 1 month or not doing business with them 1 month, it kind of moves around. But that's been one of the most rewarding things, is to meet all the local people in town, the people who run the businesses. And so it started off with the wholesale
and the farmer's market.
and the farmer's market. Yeah. So that we kind of started.
Uptown Farmers Market?
No,
The Vincent Farmer's Market.
yes.
That
he's one of our great customers to this day.
Yeah, so
he's the greatest.
He
And his whole
actually-
family.
kind of they gave us that was kind of, they took a shot on us. We were just like, hey, we're this couple selling fresh fish, and here's your story. So we got a little spot there, and that was our only retail presence for about a year, and it was just kind of a seasonal market on Saturdays there, which I miss it. I don't know if you ever went, but
Yes,
they
I
had
did.
paella and champagne, and it was
prettiest-
beautiful.
I think I bought my mom a beautiful table runner that she uses to this day.
It was
I'm
very
gonna do a
French.
shout out to Peter Duncan because he would always give us his leftover bottles of champagne. And they were always a half a bottle.
Good guy. Hi, Peter.
Hi, Pete.
I need to get to know you.
But yeah, the market I think was a great opportunity and catalyst for, local chefs hearing the buzz about us to come check it out as well. And we just had such great feedback from that market that, we started looking for a brick and mortar to house the wholesale and eventually hope to open something to the public.
Yeah, because in the beginning, I was literally driving over like 2 to 3 times a week. And I would drive over at 1 a.m. We'd package it all, put it together, and I bring it over and deliver it.
So this is San Diego
Or LA.
or LA.
Because a lot of stuff comes out of LA. In the beginning, we were based out of LA because we didn't have a spot in San Diego. Now we have a beautiful dockside location in Point Loma.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, and we sell fish to the public there too. So if anybody's ever in San Diego, over their holidays and the summers, you just Google Chula Seafood and you can buy fish by the pound. It's different than our stores here. There's no fish case. You just come in and say, I want 2 pounds of swordfish, and they give it to you.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
You don't-
2 pound minimum buys,
Oh.
but it's a great deal.
It's a very California way
Yeah,
of
it's-
shopping for fish. It might be a little out of the norm
People
for
in
Phoenix.
California are a little bit more relaxed on how they buy their fish than they are in Phoenix.
Oh, what does
People-
that mean? Tell
people
me.
in
They grew
Phoenix-
up next to the ocean,
Yeah.
It's just kind of a more, I'm more familiar with the fact that might have skin on it still,
Yeah.
or the
I see.
bloodline's still in it. And these people grew up on fishing boats and are
Yeah.
familiar.
They
so,
can do all their own fish butchery. Like, okay, I'm going to deal on this. I'll cut the skin and the blood out, and I'll trim it up and cut it into steaks myself.
Okay.
And over here, they want it ready to cook.
Yeah.
So
we're
it's
gonna put it on the
just
grill.
they're actually more picky in Phoenix than they are in California when it comes to fish. They have
I
high-
think
they
we have something to do with that.
Yeah,
maybe.
it might have been
You're
our-
making it too pretty. You're
I
spoiling
know,
us.
I
Ryan.
know.
But I think in general, the retail fish game, with some other people in town, and just the quality of fish in the last 15 years has just gone through the roof.
Oh, so that's good news. You think of
Absolutely. I don't think there's
Yeah.
any reason that you can't get just as good as quality fish anywhere in the United States as you can in Phoenix. There's no excuse.
So what does
It
that say
might be a
about our
little-
ocean and what's
It-
going
it-
into it?
That's a direct result of logistics and shipping, air freight.
Ah.
I can get stuff I can order stuff at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it'll be at my doorstep 10 a.m. the next day from New York City. You look over the horizon to Europe and stuff, it takes a little bit more time. But yeah, I mean, sometimes we order stuff from, say, Dover, England, and it comes in 2 days later fresh.
And
So
you do have stuff from England
we
Fresh.
ship in stuff from all over the world. Our major, salmon is the biggest. That comes in from, Scotland, once or twice a week. We get it from Norway. We get it from a lot of fish is coming from Norway right now. The Norwegians are like some of the biggest people in the fish game right now.
We specialize in Southern California
Yeah.
species.
Yeah.
That's what we're trucking over in our refrigerated vehicles. However,
But when
we've grown
Vincent's-
so much.
When
that-
Vincent wants Dover sole, you got to get him Dover sole.
You get the man what he wants.
Exactly.
He's a
Exactly.
James Beard award-winning chef. So.
Yes.
A long time, yes,
for
right?
sure.
So, no, it's the logistics behind the fresh seafood game are definitely the probably one of the biggest challenges we face, just with pricing or species. Crab, just Dungeness crab was nowhere to be found this season. Just certain items like that we're constantly playing those games in behind the scenes
Right.
to just keep ensuring that we have the right product and fresh product for our customers, wholesale and retail.
Yeah. And as you talk about product, let's talk about where people can come find you because you have 3 different locations.
Yes.
Can we come to all of them? Because one is a processing
No.
facility. right?
That's location number 4.
Oh,
So
okay.
we've got our warehouse at the Scottsdale Air Park, and that's by appointment only. You don't. There's no really need to be up there unless we've talked about maybe tours one day.
Oh.
Well, one day the plan is to have more of a wholesale place where people
Yeah.
kind of like California can come in and buy a true chunks of
Yeah,
fish. And,
fish.
But for now, that's where everything is quality controlled process. We're bringing in whole fish and breaking it all down. And then from there, we've got our 3 restaurant fish markets. Our first location is South Scottsdale on Hayden and Roosevelt. We call her Rosie on Roosevelt. That's our original. So no full kitchen there. Is a little bit. I can't think of
Like
the
a
right
deli
word.
Fish markets. It's like a fish market with poke bowls, sandwiches,
Okay.
salads.
Oh.
There's some paninis and stuff like that.
that's
Chowder.
Snacky
We have
lunch.
chowder.
Ooh, I love
We have
that from
chowder at
chowder.
all
Why do you
locations.
keep saying
Yes.
chowder at me?
Yeah.
We know why. I love that
Rosie-
chowder.
Rosie housed our entire operation when we first opened. So we weren't really thinking long-term infrastructure. We were thinking we need a place that's permanent and ready to go that's not very expensive.
Yeah.
So Rosie is kind of the birthplace of Chula Seafood. Very, very near and dear to our hearts in terms of
Yeah.
what's gone on there. So
You can tell.
thank you. And then our second location is at Uptown Plaza on Central and Camelback. And that's kind of the flagship store of patio, bar, full kitchen, the whole thing. And we have our third location up in Greyhawk, North Scottsdale, Hayden and Thompson Peak. Same thing, patio, full bar, full kitchen, all of that. All three locations do an all-day happy hour on Sundays, which is awesome as well.
Something on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays,
Tuesday?
We're doing a Taco Tuesday today.
Yeah, okay.
Today, yes.
Okay.
Every Tuesday you can get up at Greyhawk.
Uh-huh.
We won Taco Fest this last October.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Let's
It's
go.
those things are so much fun. It just gives our team an opportunity to highlight their culinary talents. But you can get that award-winning taco up at Greyhawk.
Okay.
It's a shrimp dorado topped with more shrimp cocktail on top of it and sour
That's
cream
shrimp and mashed potatoes.
shrimp and potato taco.
It is really good.
love
It's
mashed
delicious. But yeah, so those are our three Valley locations. And then San Diego, you can pop in and buy wholesale
How
direct.
fun. Yeah, makes me want to go to San Diego just so I can go see you guys
You
there.
should.
And we also, another thing a lot of people don't know is we actually, our commercial fishing boats open for charter.
What?
So we have a website that we're about to put up. It's not up yet.
It's
coming. It'll be-
chulacharters.com or,
Yeah.
if you can reach out to our San Diego division and arrange it to go out on, a commercial fishing or not commercial, a sport fishing excursion.
Oh,
wow.
You can do a little bay cruise. There's lots of
Whale watching if it's the time of the year.
There's lots of concerts that they do on Shelter Island, and the boat just floats out there and listens to a free concert. So
You're paying for the boat, not the tickets.
yeah, but it's awesome. It's a private, 6 to 12 people private kind of experience. Some of those sport fishing experiences you're packed on.
It's not your typical boat either. It's very nice. It has some polish on it, so it's not like a dingy commercial fishing boat. It's pretty nice.
Okay.
So if you go on the website and you look at it, you'll be like, "That's a commercial fishing boat." And we'll be like, "Yeah, we take very good care of it."
I'm glad you guys are planting the seed at this time of year before we take our San Diego vacations.
There you go,
and then we can
right?
look at those concerts because it's the Rady Shell.
The
Is that kind of
chowder will be
yes.
flowing.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go to the Rady Shell and to be in a boat to watch.
My friends
It's
just
awesome.
went and they chartered it and they went and saw Stick Figure there.
Oh, stop it.
And they said, and Revolution, they said it was great. And you can hear it because of the way Rady Shell is.
Yes.
It like projects out from the bowl. You can hear it perfect on the boat.
Oh my goodness gracious! I ended up over at Bayfest in
Yeah,
San Diego.
that's a good one.
Going to those reggae bands.
Yeah.
Similar guys.
Oh, that's fun.
So much fun. Okay, well, we digress.
Okay,
As
sorry
I
about-
plan
sorry.
my summer, I'm going to go listen to the Radio Shell, Bandit Radio Shell from the Chula charter boat.
Yes.
Do I have to fish on the boat, or I can
No.
just enjoy the
You can
concert?
just
No, you
enjoy
don't
it,
have
and
to fish.
you can set up. We can get catering set up and drinks and all that stuff.
Well, you knew
Well,
that was
yeah.
going to be my
drinks, I
next
don't know,
question.
So,
because
a lot of misconceptions just about the boat
Yeah.
is that we fish for all of the fish in California. We're a swordfish boat. That's our brand. You see the swordfish in all our branding. However, we've been in the commercial industry in Southern California for over 25 to 30 years. It's relationships. It's a small pocket of people that are still commercial fishing and are, when certain people fishing swordfish aren't sword fishing, they're fishing for spiny lobster or California halibut. It's all a collective. So because of those relationships, we have access to the incredible fish coming out of Southern California.
And you, in your paperwork you gave me, you call yourselves, like the people you meet, your fish family.
Yeah.
And with 25 years, I mean, that is history with people. You got to just
It
have your buddies,
is.
on the dock who are bringing in, what you got today?
Exactly. That's exactly how it is.
How fun.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what's on the menu. So we can go
Oh,
have lunch
yeah.
or dinner over at Chula. What are we eating? What are some of your favorites?
One of my favorites, the green chili tuna melt.
Oh, tell me more.
Hatch green chilies. We confit our own albacore from Fiji.
Oh.
So like canned tuna
Uh-huh.
comes canned, cooked in the can in water or oil. Well, we do it ourselves, so it's fresh. Hatch green chilies, Oaxacan cheese,
Noble bread.
noble bread, and a panini
And it's super simple. And then
dipped in chimichurri.
Chef Juan, this has been kind of an original creation from our Rosie location. That's a staple on the menu at all 3 locations now.
Didn't just win an award.
Yeah, it just got recognized by Phoenix Magazine as one of the 100 top
Oh, it's
dishes in
Phoenix
the
Magazine
valley.
right now.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
What is the name of the dish again?
It's just the green chili tuna melt. It's simple, but you dip it into chimichurri, and I think that's the one thing that really sets it apart. It's not a mayo-based sandwich, and it's just kind of really delicious.
Sounds amazing.
Some other things we're known for are
Clam chowder.
Clam chowder,
Which piqued
yes.
my interest, I love.
Yes. And then our Hawaiian poke bowl. Our poke bowls are a crowd favorite. You can choose your various proteins, always fresh. And really popular are our pick fish plates, where you get to pick either, salmon or sea bass or scallop, shrimp. Pick your sauce and choose your sides. If people are trying to stay healthy in January, or we've got all the fried options and all of the naughty things as well.
So you can please both parties.
Yes.
Just to be
Lobster
dining.
rolls,
Yes.
fish and chips, grilled oysters.
And the infamous California burrito.
Oh,
that as well, yes.
right.
Yeah.
Do go on.
You go ahead. There's a lot in that
the
one.
infamous California burrito. That has also gotten us a lot of people hooked.
Oh,
Pun
good.
intended.
Yeah.
It's grilled fish, typically swordfish, with our mojo marinade, which is going to be a citrus forward marinade, French fries, Baja sauce, avocado. Wrapped up, and it's just something else. So you gotta taste it to believe it.
So I don't know if I told you this, but I don't eat a ton of fish.
You did
I
share
tell
that
you
with
this?
me
We
before.
made
I
you
think-
try some. You did try.
But-
I will always try.
Hey, chowder, you're in the realm
Yeah,
where
I'm in the house. I'm in
Yes.
the place. I'm even in the restaurant. So as far as swordfish, describe to me the texture, the flavor, and what would be a beginner fish to kind of start entering that space.
Swordfish is
steaky.
It's it's always an interesting question, and it blows Mandy and I away because the people that don't really love fish, they'll always eat salmon. And for some reason, to me, salmon is very fishy.
Yeah.
And so I'm more of a smoked salmon guy. But so just like any types of different cuts of meats, fish are different cuts as well. So like a swordfish is very steaky. It's gonna be more firm. It's gonna be more like a fillet kind of, but it's also obviously has fish flavor to it. It can almost taste like pork or chicken if it's cooked properly and if it's cooked right. So I mean, swordfish is a good entry level one. I think another great entry level one is halibut, like an Alaskan halibut or a Norwegian halibut, or even like a California flounder that's we sell in our case every day. California flounder is year round, very sustainable fish. It's very lean, so it kind of takes on the flavor of whatever sauce you put on it. It's fish that is more fishy will have more fat and oil in it. So if you eat leaner fish, it won't be as fishy.
You can find a really nice our California flounder halibut on the menu at Hush right now. He's doing it with tomato risotto. And it's great. It's, Corvina is also, which is in the sea bass family, which is something you can find in our case at our locations. That's a fish our daughter will eat, and she doesn't eat hardly
That's a fish that's not well
anything.
known, but if you see it on the menu, order it.
It's just a
very-
simple
Say the name again?
Corvina.
Corvina.
And it's just a mild whitefish.
It's
So-
caught all over the world.
You're pretty safe if you're a beginner fish eater to start with whitefish. I think whitefish is safe. And then like John said, the higher the fat content, the more prominent that fish flavor is going to shine through. And that's not necessarily a bad thing,
People love
but
it.
you find that fish flavor with salmon because you can see in salmon those ripples of fat through it. So, or, if you're okay with consuming raw fish, ahi is something, the red tuna, that's very mild, but it could be a textural thing for you. So, but as far as cooked fish, whitefish is really safe, which is, swordfish can be in that category, but it's going to have a more steak-like texture versus a flakier texture to your halibuts, your corvinas, your blue nose bass, which is something we also have from New Zealand. We always like to have some sort of whitefish option in our fish case for our customers.
For the newbies.
Yeah.
The newbies.
And we're just try to get people to pick something different when they come in. And, we don't have, that Alaskan halibut you're looking for, but maybe try the California halibut or perhaps the corvina, go outside the box and bet.
And don't be afraid when you come into our restaurants to ask the fish tender. What are you thinking? Ask him hey, I'm thinking this. What do you think? How long do I cook it? What are your suggestions? They have plenty of ideas for you. That's their job.
So we have a couple things coming up in February. One, you have an anniversary. Two, Valentine's Day is coming up. So tell me about the anniversary, and then I want to get to Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so we'll be celebrating 6 years at our Uptown location, and in proper Chula form, we celebrate at all 3 locations. So that means $2 oysters, $2 shucked oysters. We'll have all day happy hour drinks, and then a ton of awesome that day only features. We've got shrimp and chips at our South Scottsdale location that weekend. I think they're looking to do a whole fried snapper at Uptown. But it's usually just a day where we want the community to come out and hang out and celebrate with us and have good seafood.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
People can just walk into your restaurants. It's not where you need reservations.
They can just walk in. It's more counter style service. If you do just head to the bar when you come in, you can get full service at the bar without having to wait in line. So that's a little bit of insider information right there.
And as John was kind of talking about, maybe we want to prepare a lovely dinner for Valentine's Day.
Absolutely.
Your fish tender will help you. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, planning ahead is always good especially for the holidays, especially if you're out looking for something like lobster, live lobster, scallops, oysters. We do oyster kits. We do quite a bit of kits we'll be doing this year. You can do a sushi kit. Are we doing lobster roll kits?
We've got kits and then also things that are ready to go, but the kits are fun. Like he said, a sushi kit for Valentine's Day. It's an interactive way. We provide everything you need to get rolling is how we work.
Celebrate and get rolling.
I'm
She's full of them
puns.
It was that Walter Cronkite school.
No, she loves fish puns. She does.
Wordplay.
It's great. But no, it's we wrap the fish kind of chef's choice based on what's, usually some salmon, some ahi. And we give you everything to make sushi rolls or onigiri or nigiris at home, or if you just wanted to slice up your own sashimi, including the cooked rice to make it super easy.
But there's other things like we're going to have, I would always pre-order because you know how it is. If you know how it is, you don't walk in the day to the butcher on Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving Day looking for a turkey. So what I'm saying is call ahead, say, hey, I want scallops, oysters, swordfish, small amounts. I mean, king crabs it's not really big on, for some reason it's weird. It's not really big on Valentine's Day.
Lobster.
But we'll have it available.
I will
Lobster,
eat it any day.
scallops, and any kind of shellfish, shrimp. We'll have it all available. In all different sizes, and so we'll be ready.
They'll be ready for
we're
you.
already we're already thinking about it. We had a meeting about it this morning. That's what people don't understand. It takes weeks to get the stuff there.
Yes,
we're ordering fish that hasn't even been, or lobster haven't even been harvested yet.
Yeah.
They're still swimming around.
You're always preparing. Valentine's Day is a pretty heavy case sales day because people do like to cook for their significant others. So we're there to help with like you mentioned, with recipes, or if we've got some finishing salts, some local products to kind of tie in. If you want some pasta or some of our chimichurri sauce is awesome to get with our fish from the case. just grilled or even pan seared and put that sauce on top of it. It elevates anything. I
Sounds
promise.
delicious.
Even meat, even like steak, like
yeah.
the sauce, chimichurri is just.
A little chimichurri is made for steak.
Can dip a tuna melt into it. Come on.
It's delicious. What else is coming up this year for you guys?
Oh, we've got just kind of hustling through that season of what that is in Arizona here, spring training, the open, all of the things.
Barrett Jackson starts coming up here,
Are you involved?
No, but the Valley feels it. So
Yeah.
all of our wholesale customers beef up 30%. One of our customers is DraftKings at the TPC.
That's a big customer.
Oh, and this coming up in the next month, it's going to be wild there. They got some great chefs that do a lot of big parties and fun things out there. So that's a fun account to be a part of as well. So yeah, just being around Phoenix in the next month is pretty wild. It's the season.
Yeah,
So-
and we did a fish fry pop-up on the 11th in South Scottsdale, and it was super successful. We sold out in 2 hours. So we're looking to add some more of those type of fish fry pop-ups like on February 1st and until we can't do it anymore because it'll be deathly hot outside. But kind of keeping that in our rotation and then popping up at local breweries and whatnot. Well, we've done a couple of things with Goldwater Brewery, Greenwood in the past. So we like to stay involved with the community where we can.
What would you tell someone who's starting a business? What were some kind of pit holes that you wish you had avoided, or why didn't someone tell me that? Or what would you tell someone who's starting a business on their own here in the Valley?
It's okay to delegate.
Probably huge for people to hear.
Don't be afraid to let go of control. It's okay. I
You
think
have to put trust
is
in other people.
the biggest thing, because as a human, you can only take on so much, and coming to that realization is major growth. And I think just understanding that from the get-go would just kind of help people, because it's hard, something that you're curating from birth, so to say, this idea, turning it into a reality, and now you have 80 employees. It's something that, you just want to give yourself grace. And with that, I think is being able to share those tasks and those roles with others. Because with that, we've found ourselves surrounded by some of the greatest team members we could ever have.
Yep. When you guys aren't selling fish or
Yeah.
doing recipes, how are you enjoying Arizona?
Oh, I love Arizona. I would never live anywhere else. Just look at the photo behind you. I grew up going to the lake, wakeboarding, surfing, Saguaro, Bartlett, Pleasant. I grew up golfing. I was golfing for my birthday the other day with like 3 of my high school buddies, and we're at the Phoenician, which is one of the most beautiful courses. We're up on that top hill, and we were looking over the valley, and we were just like, this is a great place to live. It really is. And one thing I want to say when we're talking about the Valley is 8 to 10 years ago, there was this huge push for supporting local restaurants, local establishments. And I don't want people to forget about that, because there's a lot of big restaurants, corporate restaurants coming in that all these local people are supporting and going to now. And they're forgetting about the little guys, and the little guys are starting to really hurt. So go out and support your local restaurants right now. That's something that I would really want to get out and let people know, because there's amazing restaurants out here that people are forgetting about, because they're not shining on Instagram anymore, and they're not putting on a big show and doing tableside service and flaming dancers and stuff like that.
There's some shifting going in the hospitality
Yeah, I just don't want
industry.
people, there's such a great growth of restaurants. If you've been here in the last 10 years, that if you look at it, think about 10 years ago, the restaurants that were here, and look at what we have now. And they're all most of them are local. So support those local people, local love. That's why.
Local love.
Exactly. We forget because we want new shiny things, but don't forget about why those people are here is because those people that built the industry, and everyone's forgetting about them and going and doing all these fancy new things. But go to the local owned chef restaurants. Those guys like Collins and Dom and Bernie and just all those guys. They're not doing very well right now. I'm not saying they're not doing very well, but
They're feeling it a little.
Yeah,
I think Dom was
the restaurant
Dom was
industry
public with that.
The restaurant industry as a whole this last year was down quite a bit.
I think we were all riding a strong wave off COVID in a sense where there's a lot of community focus and a lot of people supporting
Let's not forget
local.
that.
So kind of just getting back to that, like we still need everyone to support local. We still need those local guests coming in. So
I'm not just talking about us. I'm talking about everybody.
yeah, just in general. But so other things with Arizona, I just think it's amazing to see how much the food scene has changed.
You see the amount
here.
of growth that's coming in the States? There's like the stuff they're building in Glendale, the water parks they're building, the surfing, the amount of people. I mean, I have to think that with the stuff that's going on in California right now, a lot of those people are going to be picking up and moving out here. So I don't think the California, as they call it, the California invasion, it's still going to come. So we're growing. I think with the West Valley, the East Valley, I mean, there's no more room for real growth around here. Well, North, they're going to open up all that. But like,
Phoenix is growing up. I mean, downtown is just,
that's the craziest. Like the amount of stuff they're building in downtown Phoenix right now and what ASU's done and all the guys that are investing and they're really putting a lot of money into building some really cool stuff. Roosevelt,
it's
insane.
fun.
It's really cool.
It's been fun to, since we, started this in 2015, 2016, just seeing how much it's changed and grown. And
it's finally a real downtown.
I know it is.
Yeah.
Just the expectations of food here now have changed. People want better food. They're looking, they're seeking for better options. And I think Arizona was so far behind for so long. And there are so many great local options now. So yeah, it's
it's exciting.
Arizona. It is exciting.
Yeah, it is.
It is exciting. But I was out one night and I was looking at a new restaurant coming to town, another one from LA, and I kind of got this gulp in my throat.
Yeah.
About kind of what you're saying. You can't forget about the people who help make us be what we are now, because we are at a totally different level when it comes to the food scene. And you mentioned Dom, who went to Chaparral, grew up here in the Valley. Bernie, who's been here since the 90s.
He's also a Marine veteran.
Marine, yes, veteran. We love that. Bernie, who created that chopped salad that everyone still talks about. So you have these people who are OGs and put us on the map. And, if you want to go to the new place, go to the new place, but always come on back home to those guys who committed their lives.
And I use them as an example just because of their great local people. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah,
I'm not, just everybody needs, the local restaurants are not getting the support that they once wanted, that everybody wanted them to open. And they're kind of just forgetting about them. So let's remember that.
Let's show the local love.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And John, so good to see you guys again.
Thank
Happy
you so
anniversary.
much.
And Happy New Year and all the wonderful things to come.
Thanks so much, Jamie.
Chula Seafood, everybody. Go local. Thanks for listening to Jamie's Local Love, the podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Soretta. Our technician is Tom Heidinger. Our editors are Lorraine Shearing and Gina Coy. Do you know a business worthy of some local love? Email me at jsoretta@azfamily.com. Follow us at facebook.com/Soretta and Instagram @Soretta News. Make sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star review, please. And tell your friends about the podcast and the businesses we feature to show your local love. You can find us on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and anywhere you get your podcasts.
Jamie's Local Love, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast.